Erlengrad is a good map. Oops. I tend not to play Giants maps so often, primarily because they're the only maps available when Farm Sim comes out. So obviously a lot of the initial YouTube and streams are on Giants maps. And I kind of like to do something a little bit different, which fewer people are doing. Obviously there's a lot of people doing Calmsden, which is one of the detractors on that. But we do tend, we're going to be playing this map or the next map, until at least probably 6 months after the next Farm Sim game gets released. Whether that's 24 or 25, I don't know at this point. But we're going to be playing the map for a good solid 2 years. By the end of that time, pretty much nobody else is going to be playing that map. Kind of like this one. Obviously, Oakfield Farming Agency Edition came in late, and because we had to reboot the series, it gave us the opportunity to move over and have the extra crops, Maize Plus incorporated, and all the other things. So but still, who's streaming Oakfield Farm or what have you? Nobody at the moment that I know of. Now, a lot of people, that was the thing with Oxygen David, was a lot of people were, I played Oakfield Farm in Farming Simulator 17, so I'm not inclined to play it for 19. So again, Farming Simulator 19 Oakfield Farm streams and YouTube videos are a little bit thinner on the ground. I know, obviously you've got No Man's Land, and there's a couple of other maps were in the style of No Man's Land. A lot of people are playing those because it gives you complete freedom creating your farm and all the rest of it. So, and while it intrigues me, I don't know I want to play a wilderness map, if you like. So, I just have to, probably I'll see if I can find time in the coming weeks to actually load into Farm Sim 22 and take a look at some of the maps that are intriguing me, and see if I can pick one that looks like a good map I could play. It's got some inspiration behind it gives me some inspiration behind it, should I say. Come on, you can do it. Even this tractor's struggling with the hills here. It's not entirely, the cultivator needs to be fixed. Probably should have done some maintenance before I actually strapped it to the back of the tractor to bring out onto the fields. Anyway, we'll set that off on a worker. You're still going. Nice. So how's this looking? We've got a little triangle down there. This should do okay for the rest of this and won't go wandering into field 8, which I think it did last year. But I think we'll sit with this one for now, just to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh, actually, you know what I've noticed? Time to go and get the Land Rover. I'm thinking I probably want about 3 pallets of barley, and I might pick up 2 pallets of canola. Canola's fairly efficient planting. It uses the least amount of seed per acre. You know what? Might be a good idea to turn the lights on. That's better. And maybe, do we get high beams? Yep. Ooh. Well, that was fun. For some reason, camera angle was completely messed up there. But we're good. So I should get a message very soon saying that the seed tank is empty on our class. I need to take it a little bit easier. 90 miles an hour on these roads is not a good plan. But I mean, I think the thing with Erlengratt is I never really got into it. I did start it, and it's sort of, yeah, I'm not inspired. I like farms that look, basically I like Oxygen David's maps because they are based on real locations, so everything feels right. It's all very natural. Outside of that, I do like what do I like? Farms that feel like they claim to be. So when someone says this is a map based loosely on, did I say 2 or 3? Not by 3. And then canola. Oh, we should get at least 1 more oilseed radish. Okay, that should do us. Whoa. So yeah, farms, maps that feel like somebody lived there and actually walked around, and it's based on where they lived. There's a couple of maps that it's not a real place, but it's based on where I lived, so it's kind of real. And I like those style of maps too. Giants, definitely the Farm Sim 22 maps are a big improvement over previous maps. But I don't know, as I said, you tend to end up with everybody plays them. And if you want a little bit of variation, then you want to go with sometimes the lesser used maps. Oops. So something like Estancia Sao Carlos, kind of interesting because I don't think, at least not many English-speaking players play them or play it. Okay, last 2. And the last one. Do we need anything else? I probably need a absolute ton of lime, but probably not going to worry about that right now. Okay. get this back to the field. I'm not going to make that turn anytime soon. Helper F has completed their task. Gee, come on. Guess I need to go and check on the tractors before we drive back. And I need to sell some of those things. Okay, you have done all of this bit. You've still got that bit up there. I can set you off again. Again with the tiny little bit. Well, the sun's coming up. That's good. So 7 o'clock start was definitely the way to go here. Just means that we can get a little bit more field work done before we have to go off and harvest the rest of the sunflowers. Back of the cultivator doesn't do the thing. You are still got the seed in the back, so I guess lower, turn it on. Might have bought too much barley, you never know. Because looking at, we've still got 237 litres of barley in the tank. How did that happen? Yep, got that bit done. You're still working. Let's get back to the Land Rover. So yeah, once we've finished cultivating the fields up by the farm, we can get on with our rye. The fields that we had rye in, we can seed those as well, or cultivate those as well. Gonna have to check the lime on them. I think one of them we just limed, so it's fine, but I think the rest of them may be borderline needing it. But I'm trying to get all the fields on the same liming schedule because it's just easier that way. Whoa, thank you. Is just need to keep the speed down. Don't do I've typically found doing over 50 miles an hour makes at least the Land Rover very skittish. Our man truck doesn't go that fast. None of the tractors go that fast, not even the JCB. But this thing can do up to 90 miles an hour, and it doesn't. It will launch you into orbit if you try. But 50 will get you past the slow traffic, so that's not a problem. And this is where we live. Oh, take your time, dude. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. So this, as I said, this should be enough seed to seed all of the fields we have. Plus, we've got some canola at the yard, and I think we've got some oilseed radish at the yard. Now, I'm not in too much hurry to plant the canola, so long as it's done before winter. We're good with that. I am in a hurry, as I said, I am in a hurry to get the barley in, because if we can get it planted and germinated soon enough, it will be possible for us to plant the corn in those fields, should we decide to. 95. Okay, you're still doing your thing. Obviously this guy's a little bit slower because the rows on this field are just short. Now I didn't fish out my tea bag, that's why the tea's getting a bit strong. So you are pretty much empty. There we go. Get that folded up. Helper B has completed their task. Okay, so I think I'm just going to drive through a hedge here. No, I don't want to drive through that hedge. That's the wrong hedge to drive through. Completely actually, this view is awesome. Let's see our oilseed radish over there. You can see just all the fields in all the places with all the stuff growing. And that's why I like maps like Oxygen David's, because it's not just the feel of the map, it's the whole ambience, you know, the vistas that you have. Okay, we're going to have to move some of this. Okay, well that should make both of them in range. There we go. So we'll top up the barley in here. Leave the Land Rover here for now. Obviously the hope is that 3 sacks of barley is enough to do the rest of this field, the entirety of field 2 and all of field 3. Field 3 is not that big. This has a good sized tank, but it's not big. I don't think it's big enough for 3 crates, 3 pallets. Maybe it is. I'm intrigued. Let's have a look. This one, 6,000. Yeah, so we'd end up with 300 litres of seed in the thing. Yeah, at this stage of the game I am taking a few liberties with the foliage around the fields. But I'm trying to get stuff done in the shortest time possible. Like I said, we've still got quite a lot to do. If possible, this coming week, I will like to be finished with the sunflower harvest, finished with the winter. What's it? Well, not the winter, the fall planting, field prep. So I'm going to want oilseed radish in the sunflower fields and the sugar beet fields, and I'm going to want winter crops in the fields that we're working now. Okay, that should be, that's good. We need to get back up there and do the rest of it. So of course, once these are all done, and then, you know, we've got it's the middle day of mid-autumn. We've got a long time to go before, you know, game-wise we run out of time. But I kind of want to be done in 2 streams, and the last stream will involve At least some selling. I want to have everything that we need to have sold by the end of the last stream. So potentially we will be looking at something like I'll be selling stuff off after the next stream, so the stream after it'll just be a final, we've got 10 trips of sugar beets to sell and then everything's done type of thing. I also want to put up, I'll go through the mods that we've used. I did that at the end of Lawfolds as well, just discussing these are the mods I used. It's not usually these are the mods I used for the entire series, especially not this one because I've lost a lot of them. But it will be, these are the mods I'm using at the end of the playthrough. Okay, you are done, you think? I don't think. I think what I'm going to do now is run to the bottom. We'll finish off that section. I mean, I don't have, that's the thing, I don't have to plough in all of the oilseed radish, and the reason for that is because we're using a direct seeder, so it'll destroy the oilseed radish, but the oilseed radish where I direct drill will not count towards fertilizing the fields, adding nitrogen to the fields. So I kind of want to, having planted oilseed radish, I'd like to get the benefit of it. However, if I miss a tiny bit, it doesn't matter, because we'll be coming over this with a fertilizer sprayer probably, and just topping up the nitrogen across the entire field. So that's, you know, we'll end up with ideal nitrogen levels across the field regardless of how we managed to make it happen. Yeah, that was never going to be that easy. And struggling up the hill again. I must admit, it will be nice with Farm Sim 22 to be able to do something like finish this job and then tell the tractor to go off to field 20 or on a worker while I take care of something else. Obviously, what I'm planning as the setup for Farm Sim 22 series, we're probably going to have one tractor and maybe a rental harvester, but it'll be a while before we actually get going and have multiple pieces of equipment to do multiple jobs across the farm. And I've ended up back here. Okay. Yeah, once you get up to two tractors, you can actually employ a worker. But again, I mean, our first year, I'm going to have a finite amount of cash on hand. There will be contracts I can do to make more money, but a lot of that is going to be maximizing the income from our fields, because that's the best way to do it, I think. You can play a contract-only game and just start with absolutely nothing. But I think having at least starting with our farm, even if it's down on its luck and it's going to be a while rebuilding, I think, you know, it gives us an investment into, you know, what we're doing. And I was talking to Mrs. Osa about Transport Fever 2 this week. There's a bunch of changes gone into Transport Fever 2, free for anybody who plays the game and already owns it. But I was commenting about, I've watched more than a few YouTube videos of a playthrough on Transport Fever 2 where the player is playing in hard mode. And really the only problem they have, or you really notice with hard mode, if you know how to play the game, and the same is true for Farming Simulator and many other games, hard mode, not many other, well, games that are like this where the whole point of the game is to build up and make money. So Transport Fever 2 is similar in that you start with money and you have to build train routes, truck routes, and basically move product around the map and get paid for it. So it's you start with money and you've got to turn that money into income, you know, permanent income if you like. With Farm Sim you start with money and you've got to make what you buy profitable, what you buy with that money profitable, so that you can buy more. And the thing is with games like that is hard mode isn't actually that hard once you're going. With Transport Fever 2, it's really a case of if you screw up at the beginning in hard mode, it's game over. If you screw up at the beginning in easy mode, then it might take you a little while to recover, but it's not fatal. Hard mode, it's fatal if you mess up. And the same is true in Farm Simulator. If you screw up your beginning in hard mode, then you've probably, you know, it's probably game over. So I, you know, with the setup I'm looking at, $500,000 in land, which is under debt. So you've got that loan payment. You've got the rest of your money is operating capital to buy equipment, lease equipment, and purchase things. What are you purchasing? Consumables, so seeds and fertilizer and that type of thing. It's if you run out of money in that first year and you've got nothing left to rent a harvester when it's harvest time, it's game over. You can't continue. Your farm is going to be falling deeper and deeper into debt, which is you cannot recover from. So that's the risk you take when playing in hard mode, is that the farm is going to end up completely trashed. If you make the right decisions, if you get occasionally a lucky break, the stuff is stuff on sale just happens to fall just right. Oh, I absolutely need that sort of situations. Or the price, great demand on something you grew this year. That will help you get going faster. But so long as you are not crippled by the debt, you have income coming in, you have more income than outgo, you can pay down the debt, then after a couple of years, it doesn't matter what mode you're playing in. To be perfectly honest, I don't recall Economic difficulty normal for this game. Lawfolds, I was playing in hard mode, and really after the first 2 years it wasn't that hard, because the amount of income you've got coming in way outweighs the amount of stuff you're buying, like seed and fertilizer and everything else. So I kind of expect, if